I posted a thing about the online petition, which is growing so fast it's absurd. The online petition calling for a general election and criticising Sir Keir Starmer. And yes, I'm entirely in agreement. Keir Starmer seems to be doing things which were not in his election manifesto. But given the fact that the Conservative Party, His Majesty's loyal opposition, is so ineffective and the current leader is so asinine and and so incapable of pursuing the job of holding the ruling party to account, I don't think there's going to be very much traction, no matter whether this petition gets 6 million, 7 million, 8 million votes. It exceeds every other petition. In the end, we are in an elected, we are in a representative democracy. We elect a representative democracy, which means we cede our power to our elected representative, to the MP we have voted in. That MP generally is a member of a political party, and the largest political party forms the government. That is the way it works. And to bring down a government would involve a vote of no confidence. Now, as for the idea that Keir Starmer is breaking his electoral promises, that's a bit of a thorny issue, because in the end, the electoral promises can only work on the basis of the promises being made with clarity. But the promises aren't made with clarity. The promises are made on certain assumptions. So when the Labour government came into power, it has made a great fuss about this 22 billion black hole which the Conservatives left behind. Now, any sensible, rational Conservative leader would attack that, quote, excuse, because on that is pinned the entire pivot to policies which are considered repressive and deceitful, policies that go against the promises made in the manifesto. So there's no point attacking those policies like the tractor tax and the fuel allowance and the rise in national insurance contribution or student tuition. All of those things are predicated on this £22 billion black hole. So why has the present Conservative opposition failed to make the case that that claim is wrong? Are they conceding that that claim is right? My own instinct is it isn't right. My own instinct, and having read some of the papers, is that the £22 billion black hole is only a projection of what might happen if nothing positive is done before 2028. That isn't a £22 billion black hole. But Jeremy Hunt has kept his mouth relatively closed. Kemi Badenoch doesn't seem to know what she's talking about. Rishi Sunak was simply care-minding, while the Conservatives got on with what they seem to have spent most of the last 6 years doing, changing their leader. It's time for the Conservative Party to actually do their job, because at the moment we've got petitions doing the job which the Conservative Party should be doing. And it needs to attack the issue. The issue is that £22 billion black hole. If it doesn't exist, if it isn't real, it needs to be called out. Because on that is the excuse for all these other issues which the petition says form the breaking of the manifesto promises. Those manifesto promises are not broken by Keir Starmer doing something different, because he's already said he's doing something different because the situation is not as he anticipated. That's not a breaking of an electoral promise. It's dealing with events, dear boy, events. And as I say, I think he's wrong. I think he's wrong to follow those particular policies, and I think he's wrong fundamentally on the £22 billion black hole. But he's said it so often, he's not been challenged, and that means the Conservative Party is behaving like some sort of dromedary. And it's time for Kemi Badenoch to get her head out of the sand and start doing something functional. And if she doesn't want to do that, maybe she should resign and we'll just go back to what the Conservative Party has been doing, as I say, for the last 6 years. Have another election. Have another Conservative leadership election. Because it's either going to be a general election or a Conservative leadership election, isn't it? There is an election coming, and it's imminent.